Right now, yes.
Okay.
I've watched Hassan enough, and
Dude, he's so bad faith. He's so bad faith. Like, what? He's just so bad faith. It's crazy. Like, bro, what? Dude. So bad faith. Like,
I've seen him definitely support one state, one party rule in China. I think I've seen him support one party rule in Cuba. I'm pretty sure he supported the USSR for various things.
So he supported the government. He thought the Soviet Union was based, and he thought that the Castro was based, and the Chinese Communist Party is based.
In terms of,
and by the way, if you support these things alone, like, yeah, I would actually think you're already unhinged, right? Like, does that make sense? Like, if you support all of these things alone already, yeah, I do actually think you're kind of unhinged. Yes, yeah. Supporting the Chinese Communist Party, it doesn't matter if you're a liberal supporting Chinese Communist Party. That sounds fucking unhinged, right?
like his
like that question of like, so did he support Lenin to be like a Marxist Leninist? That's a very, very, very surprising thing. So
like who the fuck is a liberal that supports like fucking Marxist?
4 days ago, he didn't know what that term was.
You don't think that's weird?
Which isn't like bad in and of itself. Weird? Like it just depends on where you're at. Like Josiah might not know that term because I think when I look at Josiah and the stuff that he does, Josiah is like very much like I cover real world politics and like all the political stuff in the U.S. And that's not a term you're ever going to hear in ordinary.
A fucking gay movie poster came up when I typed in Heartstopper. Because how long to search out the Path of Exile fucking
American news, and you probably wouldn't even hear it in alternative media that much. But if you want to dive into this world and have these arguments, that's just a wild thing, especially to try to like start to quiz somebody on. But we didn't get into Hassan's beliefs much because both of them tried to, or both of them said pretty clearly they didn't support Hassan at all, which I mean is fine. I guess it's like that's okay. I don't like, this starts to sound a little schizo, but like, I do believe that people will, if I were to ask you something like, oh, would you support Nick Fuentes? I don't feel like Econoboy would post, this wouldn't be the best tactic for me because I don't, nor have I ever, had a generally positive view of Nick Fuentes. And I'm sure I would flatly agree with many of the criticisms levied at Nick Fuentes. Like all of the criticism for these people is quite soft. I would say this is a fairly soft statement, which just makes me wonder. Later on, I think in the same thing,
yeah, watch Foods because I went to China thinking the Chinese Communist Party is good. Wait, what? I'm so confused. All right.
Fuck. Okay, whatever. I have the quote.
What?
I've never said Hassan is an ally to the Democratic Party. I don't think he is. I only think his platform is a useful tool for Democrats to use if they want. Like, it's just, my issue is just that I can't tell. It's very, very, very hard for me to tell, like, how extreme are you willing to accept?
I love when you nod like this.
From a side that says that they want to topple your entire like organization of society. I don't know what the answer is to that. I don't feel like I got much clarity. Like it seems like Hassan is a bridge too far, but then it seems like they only would side with people like Bernie and AOC and Mamdani. That's what they brought up over and over again. But you don't even have to appeal to socialists to appeal to either of those three people. So I truly don't know. I just don't know. Actually, I don't know what the answer is to these. We didn't really get into this as much. This part of the debate I was shocked at. I was also really happy though.
Okay, this is Cope stream, right?
Or he accused it all of being like a personal debate because
we need to open the schools and we need to force people to go back to school, okay? No more homeschooling. You have to go to like real school, okay? You can't do fake school. This is unacceptable. This is completely unacceptable.
Oh yeah, guys, there are more than 130 of you guys here watching right now. Can you guys please hit the like button on the stream? Thank you so much. Okay, I appreciate it. Also, guys, by the way, okay, just a FYI, all right? Again, thank you, Dev, for the raid. If you want to support the stream, just remember you can always donate a membership or a super chat or anything like that, all right? It will be much appreciated. It's not required, obviously, but like, you know, it really does help me out a lot and support the stream, okay? Support your local streamer, all right? Support someone who, is providing you free content. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Even though you have to put it with ads. Okay, but yeah, anyway, that's about it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys.
If you think this is cool,
Okay.
Oh yeah, and you can also donate via Streamlabs. You can do !! Donate in order to get the Streamlabs link. Just keep in mind again, if you donate via Streamlabs, your protecting your information might be a little hard. Okay, just considering how your PayPal account might get revealed to me. However, just know that you get to avoid the fee. Okay, the big fee. All right, the big fee. For that YouTube charges you. Okay, so yeah, that's about it.
Fuck. I didn't say. See, if I was Vosh, I would prepare for my segments. There were like 3 different points yesterday where, how quick did you realize that Pisco was heated? Well, I realized it right at the beginning of the debate because his opening statement got a little bit, I felt like it got a little bit personal. I'd have to go back and listen to it, but it seems like he was like already, he started off like accusing me of being bad faith, I think. Or he accused it all of being like a personal vendetta or something. But the preceding nights were also him literally saying like, I'm gonna go hard on this. I'm gonna go in and we're gonna really nail this down. We're really gonna figure this out. We're really gonna. It's like, holy shit. Okay, well in that case, I'll just let him lead. And then yeah, I got called. I don't know when the last time was. I got called a sped. Yeah.
You're crushing Tom Fuller's viewership right now. Hey, it's all Dev. Okay, it's all Dev rating me. Okay, thank you, Dev.
What? He called me. I was like, wait, what the fuck? I thought he was gonna call me a faggot. I was like, holy shit, Pisco, calm the fuck down. Yeah, he called me a bitch like 10 times. Like, bro, are you okay right now? Like, what are we doing right now? Like, holy shit. It was like, Jesus, we're like on some wild shit right now. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was like, yeah, it was just like super mega insanely fucking. Oh yeah, and he kept calling Connor a vandal over and over again. I'm like,
what?
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, that was very funny to me.
Yeah, that is very very strange. A vandal. Vandal. I like that.
Oh, and then he pulled out that stop the heteronormative language. I don't even know where that came from after using bitch like 20 times, but yeah. Okay, fuck. Am I gonna watch this? Oh man, I would rewatch the debate. I will implement this in the future. I need to rewatch my debates.
Oh my god, just watch this already, stupid cunt. Sorry.
Oh my god. Kind of insane, right? Like if you were to go back, communism is supposed to be like.
Oh my god, watching Destiny is so infuriating. Is he actually gonna let this play?
He had an issue and he has to use it. Oh, okay.
Filibuster.
You're a Wick fan? I am a huge Wick fan.
Just
okay?
do this.
Massive Wick fan.
All
so
right,
massive
Dr.
I hate
Avi,
him.
thank you for coming up real quick. We were about to have a phone call, and I realized it might be useful to stream our conversation because I understand you listened to at least some of the debate and you have some thoughts about it. And I
caught like 5 minutes of this at one point, and then I was. Has anybody seen this movie? Oh, oof. You know it's an artsy movie when it doesn't even come up on. Actually, I don't know if I can click this because there's like dicks. If you wanna feel very superior to your friends and you want a very artsy experience, what an interesting, yeah, you can call it Kino. Jeez. Not too sure how I feel about it, but
I haven't.
think it's useful to talk to you to chat. So yeah, why don't we have it?
Well, I listened to the debate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys needed a mod or something. Like, you needed some kind of bridge. You guys were screaming at each other and talking past each other a lot of times. I'm not sure if you guys disagreed at many points or if you were just using different semantics.
I don't know how much. Avi is generally pretty fair. I feel like he's talked to people that I've had big disagreements with, and I've generally thought he's been fair. He's talked to people I've agreed with. I think he's generally fair. I think Avi's generally pretty fair.
The person who voted for Trump? Okay, maybe I just haven't listened.
I'm
enough,
just
maybe.
just putting that out there first before I critique what I think Abby just said here. I feel like most of the excited energy was coming from Pisco for this. Like, I was able to have calm back and forths with Econo Boy. I think Connor was calmer than Pisco, although sometimes he was a little bit explosive. But then I felt like Pisco's interactions with everybody were unhinged.
I don't think there was a lot of linearity in the discussion. I don't think you guys finished off points before like going on to something completely different, and then from there it's the same thing, going on to different from that and that, never getting back to any resolution of any other point. And there were some points where I wonder if there were some personal undertones that were just motivating this whole thing, because like I don't know if this whole thing was just like in the people just screaming at each other over something certain points that were so abstract.
Yeah,
but I guess that's a different whole can of worms.
Yeah. So let's get into it. So first of all, I think I agree with a lot of your characterization. I don't think it was very linear. I think that there is, like, certainly, I will admit readily, there's hard feelings on my behalf, because basically, take my approach, right? My view is that we have been unfairly smeared as like tanky adjacent, in the sense of that we support tankies, that we support Marxist.
You have Aaron, who is a tanky, on your stream. By definition, textbook definition, you are tanky adjacent. Are you actually fucking kidding me? Are you actually... I don't know if I can handle this. Oh, dude. You have a segment for Aaron on your stream, and she is a tanky. You're right next to her, literally, in the Discord call. Like, she is on the right, you're on the left, or you're on the left and she's on the right, okay? In that Discord call, kind of her segment, okay? Her take thing. Are you actually fucking kidding me? You are... It's the very definition of tanky adjacent. You're next to the tanky.
Largely support
Yes,
illiberal,
you are.
anti-constitutional ideas, and this is.
You could say support, maybe. I think it's always a red flag. I pointed this out. What do I call this? The clown mirror. If you can never, ever accurately summarize what the opposition's viewpoint is, then I think that's a red flag.
Stop! No, there's no red flag or anything like that. It's literally tanky adjacent. I'm sorry. Like it's. I need to be quieter. Fuck. Otherwise it'll be too noisy or whatever the fuck. Okay. But dude, it's literally like it's right there. Okay, it's right there. He's next to the person who is a tanky. He has friends and political allies with a person who is literally tanky. He is tanky adjacent. Yes, he is tanky adjacent.
Like, am I calling him tanky adjacent? That could be a reading, but at this point, obviously, I have no more good faith to extend here. Like, our complaint, and even Connor said our complaint pretty well, is that you are giving...
Okay, Destiny, you're too good faith. Okay, you don't have to.
Giving room to people who are fundamentally anti-liberal by providing kind of soft cover for them, not challenging them as hard as you could, and creating a warm, soft, inviting space for them to come in and then eventually to take over, usurp your movement, and then cast all of you out, right? That's the issue. If you want to just summarize that as being like tanky adjacent, I feel like that's not fair. I feel like that's kind of a retarded summary of my position. Like, I feel like I can summarize his position pretty fairly.
His friend Aaron and his girlfriend are both ML. They're ML, okay? They're ML.
They think at the end of the day that these like online lefty deranged movements aren't really going to have that much of a downstream negative electoral impact on the Democratic Party, or at least whatever negative impact they have is going to be far outweighed by bringing them into the fold and incorporating them into our movement and then having them be active voters. And that you don't have to support all of the radical crazy ideas or all of the radical crazy figures on the left in order to appeal to the left, but you can still appeal to broad sections of the left with leftist messaging, and then you can even utilize their platforms, even if you have to do it in a contentious or competitive way. I feel like it's a pretty fair summary of the position. I don't like when people can never summarize like my
what's ML, Marxist-Leninist, or tanky
positions, that they make me sound like a fucking retard. Like, I've been streaming for 16 years. I'm a relatively popular guy. I think I'm standing on my own in a lot of this shit. Like, the idea that I got here by just being a retarded fucking loser, not only does it bode poorly for me, or is it like improbable that that's the case, I think it also kind of makes you look like a fucking retard. Why the fuck were you friends with me or on my stream for so long, like giving cover to all of, like, if I'm such a clearly fucking retarded person, you know? Like it's the same mentality when I like talk about exes or whatever, or when I think about like relationships with it. Like for Melina, like we had a really rough breakup, obviously, but like I think almost every time I brought up Melina over the past like several months or a year or whatever, it's generally pretty positive, right? Like I dated her for 5 years. We're married. Like why the fuck? I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, what? She was a crazy fucking cunt the entire time. I was like, well, who the fuck am I? How fucking retarded would you have to be in a relationship with somebody who's horrible for that long, right? Like this weird thing of like as soon as you're not super close friends with somebody, you're not friends with somebody, you hate them. Now you have this no charitability, and they're this like bad faith, horrible, stupid piece of shit. It's like, why the fuck did you even say anything for the like past 2 years you're on my stream? Were you just using me for my platform? Like, I don't know. Destiny, is Econo Boy cooked? Arguing that weed legalization is a socialist policy is completely retarded. No, I don't think Econo Boy is cooked, and I understand why Econo Boy argues for the things he does. My big criticism and contention with Econo Boy is just going to be using a label that gives cover to other people that use it more maliciously. I don't think Econo Boy is like a secret tank. I don't think. I hope not. I don't think he's like a secret tanky or anything like that. And like in a vacuum, or like if me and
no, he's just retarded.
The Econo Boy and like 5 friends were out, eating
and soy
and chatting up each other and like talking about political beliefs. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm like a socialist. I was like, okay, I don't know about you, but sure, I get it, right? It's just in this online context of where you have this group of people who are trying to be subversive, trying to like radicalize spaces and constantly on your political movement, that I think we should be a little bit more careful about the labels we use. That's what I'm saying,
that we support Marxist-Leninists, that we largely support kind of illiberal, anti-constitutional ideas, and this has seeped in and basically infected like major parts of I take like my stream and constantly having to feel these issues of like, do you like Hassan, do you not like Hassan? So for me, there seems to be, or I'm perceiving a sense of intentionality behind it, and I am taking it personally. So if that show that is what I feel, and so I'm not lying about that. I think that there's personal stuff on his side too that have.
You say that Pisco was very unhinged. However, don't you think that this is kind of fair from his point of view, that you spread lies about him being a socialist communist? If I did, I mean, like, I don't even know if I should hedge here. I feel like I said a million times. I've said a million times on this stream. I don't think that these guys are secret tankies or like socialists or communists, except for, I guess, Econo Boy is a socialist now. I just don't like that they give cover for them in the way that they bring them their shows. I feel like I've said this a million fucking times. Actually, you know what I think has happened? And I can't prove this at all. I just saw some messages in chat. Maybe I should go look for it. If I was more like terminally online, I would, which is funny given that I'm a fucking streamer. What I think happened actually was Pisco thought I was saying these things, the more hardcore statements, because people in Pisco's chat were saying I was saying these things. People like Aaron Straighterate, or people like Queeman, or people like Doobie were saying, oh, Destiny says you guys are socialists or communists. Destiny is saying that you guys love Hassan. I think that's probably what's happening more than anything else, if I had to guess. But I would have to go dig through for those messages. I could be wrong, but I saw chatters in chat saying like, "Oh, these people are typing these unhinged messages about you, or whatever." Yeah.
To do with other things, other matters. But I think that you're correct about that. I was frustrated by the lack of linearity because ultimately I think that linearity would expose that there's not much substantive disagreement. That's at least my inclination. But yeah, so I don't take much issue with your characterization.
Before I go into like a specific thing, do you have any idea if he's smearing? Do you have any idea if he's being dishonest and he's smearing you, and if there's like a personal thing? Do you have an idea of why he would do that? I
don't know. Motivating? Yeah, I don't know. I think there's this feeling. If I'm just being totally honest.
I hate this, and I don't know what breaks people's brains on this. If I ever leave online politics, I guess I'm giving you the secret code to make me rage quit. It'll be because of this. When people get outmaneuvered on the subject matter, they immediately pivot to this weird high school world of like, why do you think that Destiny, the person who's bred 2 of the worst online leftists, Vosh and Hassan from his community, a person who has intentionally sliced off 40% of his community in the past because he found out there were so many socialists and tankies, and who is concerned about the fact that these people are engaged in rhetoric that he finds to be harmful to the party, why do you think that he is coming down on you guys now when all of these people are infesting your chats and you're starting to make nice with them? I think it's probably just personal. I think he probably is just really mad personally. I think it's just an interpersonal thing. This is an unbelievably dishonest take. Like, either a part of your brain has been broken on me, because I guess like once you're no longer my friend, you have to be like unhinged about me. But like, there's nothing to engage with. I haven't given anything of substance to engage with on any of this. You really think the only explanation for any of this is that it's just all personal? Really? When Econo Boy said that Norway socialized 2/3 of their wealth, that's wrong. It's a sovereign wealth fund. It's the state as a capitalist actor buying assets using oil money. It's literally capitalism. Yeah, I know. And then somebody pointed out the majority of that sovereign wealth fund's investment is in capitalist firms, which, yeah, I wish I would have known that as soon as you brought that up. But
that, like, I'm a traitor. That when I took a step away from Steven, from the collaborations with Steven, that was either something I should not have done, or that, that it's super negative.
also, the thing that's frustrating about him saying this is that, like, I actually do have some of these personal feelings. I do think a lot of these people, the whole, like, oh, we instantly believe the other person, you're probably a rapist, and whatever. I do kind of, like, feel, like, pretty bad about that. However, even if that is going to be your explainer for, like, oh, like, why is it like this? How do you explain the fact that I've covered all of these guys, Pisco, just like everybody else, like, incredibly favorably over the past, like, 6 months? I feel like, haven't we watched? I feel like I've literally I offered the $10,000 because I wanted to see Pisco debate the one lawyer dude. And I'm pretty sure I've watched him on multiple shows where I'm, like, screaming. I'm like, thank God somebody who actually understands the law is here.
And by the way, like, fuck, dude. I mean, if there's anything where you can spend money, right, or like any good cause in which you can spend money, isn't it that? Like, I feel like that, like, out of everything, that has to be like the best thing you can spend money on, right? Is for content, right? You get money out of content and you spend it back into content, right? Like, fuck.
So that Pisco can shit on these guys. Like, how? Like, what would it be that just now I've decided that I hate them interpersonally? Like, it doesn't even like logically follow from the timeline, you know?
I did that, or it's not understandable, or that I'm a bad friend because I did that. And I think that those feelings are very much sort of at issue.
You're talking about when this whole thing happened with the Pixie stuff, or with
and I'm, you know, for reasons that I still maintain, I don't like want to get in, like, give my take and opinion beyond what I've already said on those matters, and that again is out of respect to the parties, and also the fact that, like, you know, the fact that I am a lawyer and people might take, like, I think, improper weight to what I say one way or the other.
Okay, hold on. You're a lawyer, but you're not an attorney because you didn't pass the bar. Okay. I'm not sure if you didn't pass the bar or maybe you didn't, whatever, but, like, again, okay, like, he throws around, well, he doesn't throw this around, but, like, the thing is that, like, the lawyer thing is a little bit misleading because people assume that you already passed the bar when you say that you are a lawyer, but he's not not an attorney, he's a lawyer. Okay, what that means is that he only passed the bar. He didn't pass the bar, he only passed law school. That's what it means.
I just
Okay.
That feels like a major cop out to me, because he had no problem weighing in for weeks on Ethan Klein's lawsuit stuff.
That's right.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
didn't think it's appropriate to speak out, and, you know, I haven't made content out of it. That, you know, again, out of respect for both parties and the role that I occupied in that kind of DNC lead up type thing, and not wanting to unduly prejudice either party. Yeah, I think that is an understandable thing for someone to do, and it feels like it leaves both sides, I guess, feeling angry that I don't have a stronger statement one way or the other, or that, like,
God, like, even he sounds sleazy, right? Like, the thing is that even Pisco sounds sleazy, right? Like, fuck me, dude. I'm somewhat confident he's an attorney from what I saw. I've heard that he's not an attorney. He only works under a law firm that does, like, these kinds of, like, fancy dancy, like, kinds of things, but I've heard he's not really an attorney, no.
like I abandoned too quickly or something.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, see you.
Now, I'll just say, just for the record, I don't know much about the backstory, so I don't.
You typed in DGG chat earlier that Pisco spent a week or so ripping on Ethan for his lawsuit, but he literally only mentioned it in his stream once, that the filing was very silly.
That's not true. That's not true. He literally debated Hutch over it, dude. That's not even true. Dude, why do people just lie? Dude, people just, like, literally just be lying, bro. Like, the thing is that that's not even true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. It's that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
And unprofessional, and the only reason he brought it up,
motherfuckers just be lying.
past this student, my fellow teacher was going on to attack him for it. I could have a totally wrong recollection about that, but I feel like I remember him debating that topic and tweeting about.
Yeah, that's a lie. Okay, no. I covered that shit. Pisco was literally on that shit. He was on that fucking anti-Ethan
about that topic
grind.
for days.
Yes. Yep.
I thought he read through one of the lawsuits. That seems like an insane
That's a lie.
retelling on that, but okay.
I can't really comment about, like, who's right or who's wrong on any of that, because I don't really know, like, what the whole Pixie situation was. I haven't really dug in.
On days he was jumping onto people's streams to argue with people his position. Yes, yeah, that's what I remember too.
To that, right? I just know there is a situation, and I know some vague stuff about it, and
that's
I know,
what I remember
like,
too.
There was, like, all sorts of, like, fallout from that. So, okay, I'm just trying to get your position on this, so I can't really comment on, like, whether you're right or not, or whether, you know, he's right about that. But I can understand what you're saying and what he might say, and what he's saying, and I could, you know, try to bridge a communication.
But either way, that, I think, officially has nothing to do with, like, what the debate proposition, to the extent there was a proposition, was.
You're
about.
saying that in terms of about like why
I'm speculating that there's a lot of negative feelings that don't actually have to do with my stated views at all. And I think that people like the notion that
like none of my attacks on Pisco have been personal. Like I think even as recently as was it 2 weeks ago? I wish I had all the VODs. Like I think even recently 2 weeks ago, I think I was saying something like, you guys in the subreddit are trying to say shit like Pisco isn't even a real lawyer. And I think I even literally said, I was like, bro, he went to a really good law school and he was working at a really big law firm. Like of all the accusations you want to make about Pisco, the idea that like he doesn't know the law or is a shitty lawyer is like one of the dumbest things you could say. Like I think I even defended him on that a couple weeks ago. I think it was a few weeks ago. So like it's such a cop out. Like this, I don't want to say it feels like Snarkers against Ethan Klein, but this whole like, I think you're just personally upset. It's like, excuse me, bro. I'm not the sped that you accuse me of being. You can try to grasp my arguments if you can. If you can't understand my arguments, then just fuck off. You're not equipped for the conversation, which is fine, but then admit that and fuck off. Don't sit here and pretend like there's this huge personal beef or vendetta that maybe you have it. Maybe you could say, oh, well, I think I'm too personally invested, which is fine. That's fair, I guess. I would respect somebody for saying it. But don't pretend like that's my problem. Like I had no problem being, I think, incredibly fair to all of these people for months and months and months.
The kind of statements I make that people are interpreting as being pro-tanky or tanky apologists, the notion that an objectively rational person could not take, I think, my statements to indicate like an allegiance to tankyism or that I'm going to like become a tanky or anything.
Oh yeah, I have 6 chaos orbs. Do you have 6 chaos orbs and 2 divine orbs? I don't think so. Okay.
I think it's absurd. But
like again, like look at how he's phrasing the argument. Like I have an allegiance to tankyism. Like I don't think I've ever made that strong of a claim. I don't think we made that claim during the debate. Like it's just okay.
That perhaps I'm speculating that this has to do with a lot with the feeling. And it's yeah.
At any point in the
You're
debate,
6?
did anyone like
Years
outline
old?
definitions or like clarity
Get
about
out.
like or concept
Get
conveyance
out
of what
now.
exactly a tanky is?
Yeah, no, I think that it was kind of vaguely alluded to as having something to do with like violent revolution, perhaps with some
Vanguard
understanding of like lack of rights, but that wasn't fully understood or defined. So no, I don't think that it was. I think there was a kind of shared notion that we were leaning on, which had something vaguely to do with like Marxist-Leninism.
Some sort of vaguely gesture that notion. So,
Correct. Yep.
So it seems like the thing you were arguing, like, well, I don't even think you guys ultimately were arguing about that. I think you guys derailed all over the place for most of the debate.
True.
It seemed like the main thing you guys were supposed
Yeah, thanks to you, Connor, bitch.
to argue about. I don't even think that it was very clearly conveyed what you were arguing about.
I agree.
There was like just sort of vague notion of what you're playing footsie with tanky, where tanky is sort of opaque. It's kind of like we have some notions about like some loss of rights somewhere and some sort of like left-leaning or far left-leaning things.
What percent of Pisco right now would you say is bad faith or just genuinely upset? Such understanding? I don't know. It's hard to say because like if you get like really emotionally dug into it, this is the hard thing to say. You can legitimately get for 100% bad faith reasons. I don't want to say bad faith. For egotistical reasons, you can get dug into a position emotionally, and then you can legitimately argue past that point.
I do. Fuck you.
Like I've had stuff where I've gotten like people don't understand that when you go down a bad road, you can start to make a lot of legitimate arguments down that bad road that look like really legitimate. There have been stuff for like manifestos I've written in the past where I've spent like days on.
Yeah, when you're basically, it's like the crash out state, right? Like when you're crashing out, yeah, when you're crashing out, you can your mind, it can be a little bit like super fucked, It's just completely and utterly destroyed. So I kind of get it.
On a certain like line or topic, like a line of thought, and I'm like, oh fuck, this fits. And then like in looking back on it, I'm like, fuck. I actually don't think. I think my initial assumption here was wrong. And if this initial assumption is wrong, all the rest of this kind of falls apart. It doesn't actually work out as much. Like it happens, So it's hard for me to say like what percentage of it is bad faith. If there's like an initial egotistical dig in, and then everything past that is defending the initial proposition, I can't like percentage say that,
But not. It's still fairly blurry. It's still pretty blurry.
I think it's pretty blurry, yeah. Because well, I'm frustrated because I think that I'm repeating myself now, but I think that it reveals that clarity will reveal like a lack of disagreement. I started that way. Like that's my position is that like where's the disagreement? What's the prescription that we can identify over the course of that conversation? I think that the prescription has to do with like associations perhaps or like but not even there, right? Because there was this hinting at prescriptions that maybe we shouldn't have had the Vanguard on, or if we did have them on, we should have been tonally more aggressive against the Vanguard, and that somehow that would thereby like the chat would reflect that these people, that my chat is like, as opposed to what it currently is, which is Marxist Leninist, which I do not agree with that characterization, but like I think
like this all of like, it's just so like to pretend that you don't understand anything I'm saying at all is just so crazy to me. Like you can't present anything I've said fairly. That's just crazy to me.
that you are correct that there were vague notions about what these terms meant. I felt it was
Is this lefty civil war arc now? No. It's just more like the same continual eternal struggle between liberals and lefties.
frustrating to try to get linearization in this context, and maybe I didn't do the best
It's the
job
forever
of doing
war.
that, but I was trying to stick to the same topic.
Yeah, just to quickly answer this, because I don't know much about the Vanguard. Like, are they like just some like far left or like?
I would say that they're far left. They definitely espouse socialist ideal. I mean, their name is the Vanguard, right? They're definitely like support people, but they voted for Biden, they voted for Kamala, and every time I've talked to them, they've been concerned about the authoritarianism of Donald Trump, and they've been concerned about rights violations in contexts where I take those to be like genuinely held beliefs. They are concerned about rights violations that someone who is like principally against. Now, maybe they're against the rights violations only because of Trump, that they're being bad faith. But when I talk to them, it seems like they are concerned, for example, of like the deportation of Kilmar Abreu Garcia. They are concerned about First Amendment issues. You and I discussed Mahmoud Khalil. Now, it could be that they're only concerned about those because of the political like convenience, right? Where it's because the people that are having their rights trampled upon are politically favorable to them. You understand me? But as I've talked to the Vanguard, the fact that they're willing to acknowledge the Democrats as a lesser of two evils, the fact that they seem concerned genuinely with certain rights violations.
I don't know if this is like a time where like history can inform a little more, but like the KBD and the Nazis were 100% aligned in their fighting against the Liberal Party, against the Sackdems in, is it SPD in Germany. And that was the idea. Well, we both hate the establishment. We both hate the liberals. We both hate the direction the country's going, right? That they were able, like they were willing to kind of like, fuck it, we'll work together, right?
I find it difficult to believe that Pisco still doesn't understand what the point of the debate was. Socialists are fighting against the devs. Nah, he's bad faith. Like, the thing is that, like, dude, he is 100% bad faith. And I think that he's willing to be bad faith to defend positions that he genuinely believes in. Like, I'm not saying that Pisco doesn't believe in his opinions, right? Because the thing is that when any streamer streams long enough, they are going to say what they actually believe, right? No streamer is gonna, like, in my opinion, no streamer is gonna lie to their audience for that long of a time and still lie, like, after like weeks and weeks on end, right? Typically, they will eventually say what they believe. So yeah, I do believe that Pisco believes what he believes. It's just that like he is bad faith when it comes to defending his position, because now it'll look really bad if he changes his position. And I think that there's probably some degree of like toxic masculinity, like fucking like entangled in there somewhere, where you just never want to give up an argument, otherwise you look bad. And I, even though there's literally no cost to conceding, I think Pisco is the kind of person who will just literally never like concede because he has too much pride. Right, I think that's what's going on.
And the Soviet Union and the Nazi Germany did this, right? Like, let's just kind of be chill, right? Our little Molotov Ribbentrop or whatever. Let's just be chill and attack each other. We got like bigger problems. Like this like idea of making friends with people that are fundamentally ideologically opposed to you.
What's so funny to me is that it's mostly wealthy fucking white people. Yeah, that's right. Again, I have to say this as well again, is that like it's not really a thing outside of this space that there's this big social movement going on. There just isn't. I don't see it. I don't see it. Anyway.
Like you're doing some gambit that's going to pay off in the future. It just seems so ill-informed to me.
What the hell? This is such an interesting.
To me, I have not gotten the impression from the Vanguard that they would fit under what I would think of as a quote-unquote tanky, even notwithstanding the fact that, yes, their name is the Vanguard.
I like the come on.
Yeah, the name is the Vanguard.
I don't know. I haven't gone through, like, people are linking albums and shit. Like, I haven't gone through all the Vanguard's content. To be honest, I just don't know much about them because I don't follow their shit much. But everything I've seen has made me think, like, well, that seems kind of weird. Exactly.
Timpo still claims he didn't know the money was sketchy and claims he knows the Ukrainian revolution. People can lie a long time. Yeah, but like... Sorry, I meant about their beliefs. About their beliefs, yeah.
Oh, all subsequent disappointments aside, I wonder how the people who kneecapped Bernie's 2020 campaign are feeling about now. The Vanguard, exactly. When Trump gets reelected, never forget that Beto O'Rourke, Cory Booker, Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg, Andrew Yang, etc. are at fault for coalescing around and endorsing Joe Biden at the behest of Obama, when Bernie clearly had the momentum after Iowa, New Hampshire, and Nevada. This is in 2024. LeMayo, we made content every day criticizing Biden. I don't know why you keep reply guying this stupid shit. Reminder, the GOP ate shit in the
Yeah, well, your nitpicks suck, okay?
midterms because they are cartoonishly evil and unappealing to normie Americans, not because the Dems are doing a good job. Biden still sucks and should be primaried from the left in 2024. Unfortunately, it's not an exaggeration called Biden's Disinformation Governance Board a ministry of truth. This is something everyone on the left should be speaking out and standing up against.
What?
This is Biden's Democratic Party. Throw up, throw up, throw up.
Wait, Ministry of Truth, really?
What, like, I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
Right.
You know?
Okay, so if do you think that he's under the impression that he would, or do you think that
By
he
he,
would
you mean
consider
Destiny?
that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that he would call them tankies.
Okay, so then okay, another point of need for semantic analysis to clear that up. Quick question before we go on to the one example I noticed. Did you notice any? Because one thing I did get a sense of, regardless of whether they fit into this category of tanky or not, one concern I definitely did hear, and I think this is like it might even be a shared concern, probably is that there are certain characters that just seem to just bash the Democrats.
Yeah. Which I don't quite understand as being the same critique. Maybe they're kind of associated with each other and they're aligned with each other. I'll let you finish what you said. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, no, I mean, so
What is this? Did we watch this on stream?
Representation of the truth to suggest that Donald Trump just doesn't have to abide by the checks that, people like Joe Biden did. Like you mentioned the parliamentarian, and I think you're like furthering this narrative that
Wait, one Chaos Orb is one Greater Resolve rune? There's no shot, right? There's no shot this is the... Dude.
Republicans get everything they want when they elect Trump, and then we elect Biden, he just throws scraps at us. That's kind of the narrative that you guys push, right?
Yeah, I stand by that. I think that his entire presidency, that's why he was a one-term president. Yeah, usually if you're a really successful president, you get 2 terms. He got 1 term.
Well, let's interrogate that a little bit. Like, do you guys blame the Senate parliamentarian for the $15 an hour minimum wage?
No,
I don't understand how you...
The economy is hyperinflated due to the league lasting so long. I mean, I kind of understand. I get chaos drops all the fucking time. I kind of understand, Fuck, I kind of get it, but...
Biden's still failing on one of his primary campaign promises to the American people, and the minimum wage in this country hasn't been raised since George Bush.
Well, what should he have done?
Fired the Senate parliamentarian.
What would that have accomplished?
There would have not been the person standing in the way of that issue.
Wait, so you're saying I could just, trade in my fucking Greater Resolve shit for Chaos Orbs?
Another one would have cropped up, and I would have advised that he deal with it swiftly.
You still didn't have yes votes from either Cinema or Manchin.
I think you can deal with that if you're the president of the United States. To Pisco's point, he expected every single one of those people to fall to Trump because Donald Trump will exercise power within the Republican Party.
Everybody did.
Ruin you.
Not everybody did.
You never work again. I think that Joe Biden could have done a lot more to put his thumb on the scale to get Joe Manchin.
Get into specifics. How is he going to pressure Joe Manchin?
Sure, I think we've watched a lot of this, but
there we go.
I think they just hate Democrats. Look at the chat.
Abide by the checks that, people like Joe Biden did. Like you mentioned the parliamentarian, and I think you're furthering this narrative that the Republicans get everything they want when they elect Trump, and then we elect Biden.
Should we even watch Destiny? He's just so off track. He's so, one of the worst things about watching Destiny is that he just never gets back to the content because he always gets distracted and goes off on a tangent for 50 minutes.